This is Redbird, a silly, obvious, and much needed codename. I can't use my real name for this, not anymore. The Galaxy Federation fired me after failing to hold my post. It was apparent how little they kept tabs on their employees when I returned home to find they didn't raid my place and remove their equipment. I quickly moved planets with their technology in my possession, as well as my old security key. The key helped me travel without anyone inspecting my luggage and finding the aforementioned tech. You're probably wondering why I'm even bothering filing this report if I got fired. This was my job for the Galaxy Federation, and I don't work for them anymore, so why go through the trouble? Well, after getting fired and moving, I thought about my time with the Federation. My one and only project while there was to track the cyborg Kai, the Starlight Samurai, as people in the galaxy call him. Now that I think about it, having a codename myself makes me feel closer to him than I ever did before. The Starlight Samurai and Redbird. Could have made a cool TV show if the circumstances were different. Last I knew, a man named Maz was hunting down the Starlight Samurai, and they were on a collision course for a planet called Oasis. It's a tropical vacation planet on the surface, but underneath there's a whole bunch of shady things going on. Maz set a trap for Kai, and that trap was sprung. The rest was radio silence. At least for me it was, since I got fired. I just couldn't let it go, though. How could I? This had become such a big part of my life. I had to know what was happening, or what happened. I needed that closure. Kai's story had become an obsession of mine, not just a job, and Maz held me at gunpoint once. So it was a bit personal, too. I set up the tech I had. This wasn't any ordinary tech. To be fair, I don't even know exactly how it works. This tech is next level. Only God knows where they found this stuff, and if we're being really honest, it's kinda creepy. These devices can pinpoint people's exact locations and give you live camera feed into what's happening no matter where it is. I think some of the cameras float and are invisible. Who set up all these cameras? I ask myself that question every day. Anyway, to clear things up, the Galaxy Federation fired me on a technicality. It wasn't my fault my outpost got wiped out by Maz, and it's not my fault I couldn't stop him either. He's an intergalactic bounty hunter, a threat that Kai should have been assigned to long ago. It was a mistake on the Federation's part, though, for sure. I was really good at my job. I calculated as much as I could, pinpointing direct coordinates of where the trap Maz set was on Oasis. I have a good memory, another reason they should have kept me. Unfortunately, this was days after that trap was sprung. It was likely the fight was over, and I would only find Maz's remains somewhere. But the fact Oasis was still standing gave me hope that the Starlight Samurai was still there. The final thing I reported to the Galaxy Federation was that Maz baited Kai into a large arena-like room that Maz and his henchmen set up for a showdown with the Starlight Samurai. As soon as I saw into the room leading to the arena, I remembered how personal the trap Maz set for Kai was. Images of his past missions, the more brutal ones I'm sure Kai wishes he could forget. Images of the rare times Kai gets to experience peace and quiet, and images of a woman named Adriana. The only one I thought could get through to Kai and maybe get him out of this mess. I moved my way through that room and got a visual on the arena. Kai was there all right. Bullet holes from Maz's men covered the floor of the makeshift arena, as did Maz's men. Bodies and limbs were strewn about all over the arena. The Starlight Samurai wasn't designed for pleasantries, that's for sure, and his self-defense program was unlike any we had ever seen in an android, let alone a cyborg. These bounty hunters did not stand a chance. I spent quite a while identifying the bodies that were identifiable, none of which matched Maz. Oddly enough, if I didn't know any better, there was no actual way to tell Kai was there either. They were clearly shooting at him, but it looked like no one had landed a single shot on him. I didn't see pieces of Kai's casing, oil, or blood anywhere. The only thing that I assumed Kai did there was create a huge hole in the arena, as if he sliced a whole building open with his katana so he could escape. Or maybe he was in pursuit of Maz. Either way, this opening confrontation could not have lasted long, and my search for answers continued further into Oasis. Since I was able to get to the exact location of the trap, I missed the fact that Kai and Maz's battle definitely bled out to the rest of Oasis. Places that once were prime vacation spots were completely empty, and arenas where they did battle was scattered about. I searched for a few minutes, unsuccessful in finding what I was looking for, and then I saw Maz. I was not expecting to find a bounty hunter before the Starlight Samurai. Maz stood on the roof of a building. He looked in good shape, despite the fighting, and in high spirits. A sick smile on his face as he smoked a cigar. He had this gun in one hand. Smoke was lingering from the barrel. Across from the building Maz was standing on were numerous downed buildings and a spacecraft. I assumed the people of Oasis were trying to escape what was happening on their planet. Just about everything was on fire, too. It was finally starting to look like the Starlight Samurai was in town, but where was Kai? Was he under the rubble? Did Maz's trick and traps extend to all of Oasis? Kai is fast. It must have been the perfect trap to catch him off guard. I searched the wreckage for Kai, but had no luck, so I tried to see what Maz would do next. As I turned my focus back to him, I saw his mouth open. The cigar barely hung on to his bottom lip. This reaction forced me back to the debris. I saw what Maz saw, a tear in the spacecraft where moments before it split in two. A beam of light shot forth, and a strong gust of wind pushed Maz's hair back as a blast just barely missed him. I zoomed in as much as I could zoom, and there he was, the Starlight Samurai battered and bloodied, ready to counterattack.